Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers Adamas Machina AM-T02 Predaking. Finally, the full, complete combiner, although we'll get to that in a little bit because first we got to talk about the box, which I have not talked about yet. You see, there's a nice box here with all 5 members of the 5 Predacons right here, and of course got Predaking front and center right there, looking all cool and stuff. You got his name and everything, the Adamas Machina logo, and yeah, the change to the designations was AM-T01 for Adamas. Now it's AM-T because Adamas Machina now includes stuff that's not Transformers. I believe there's a Zoids are coming into Adamas Machina as well. So there's that. The T-Spark there and Todd Calvertomi. Up on top you have, of course, it just says Predaking and stuff all on top there. On this side you have, hey look, it says a Predaking, and it also has Predaking in a pose. And same thing here, it says Predaking and also says Predaking in a pose. On the bottom you have, his name and of course some warnings and what's included and what the materials are made of and all that stuff. And right there, as I says, for ages 15 and up, because this, model for adult collectors, this is not a toy, even though it's a toy. It's a toy, but you can't legally call it, for illegal reasons, you can't call it a toy because then you're subject to more regulations, weird stuff like that. And then of course you got a whole bunch of product stuff shot right here, including the individual figures and their modes, and there's him and his modes and poses, and right here it says Sore wa Predakonga. Don't know what that means. I don't know why in the world it says Predakonga and not, and says, hey, look, Trigger. Yeah, there's some Trigger guys involved here from Studio Trigger. It's Predacon. I don't know why I said Predakonga, which is a weird way to translate Predaking. But yeah, whatever. That's the box. Big old box. And included with the figures are not one, but 2 separate instruction sheets. Yeah, because it just spread across the 2 of them. Most of the combined mode instruction stuff are on this sheet, but not all of them. I believe on this sheet it's most of the individual figures stuff is on the sheet, and then this one has kind of the final bits of of Headstrong's transformation on here. Spoiler, yeah. By the way, I went the order I did these in was in the order that they're in the instructions. So there you go, and there is the full team, all 5 of them in their robot modes, as we saw them all. Yeah, that's it. And this is what I mean. What I mean is hey, look, 4 of them are pretty much, more or less roughly in scale with each other. Although, these 2 guys are kind of definitely shorter than the 2 limbs, but he's way taller than everyone else by a significant margin. These guys are roughly all like Legend scale. And then, as you saw, comparing him to the Kang Toys version, but this guy is way huge, and he's closer to, like, Generation scale by himself. The problem is, of course, we kind of have to do this if you're not going to do any parts forming or any extra members or anything. Yeah, so there's that. And also there's one last accessory, which I will mention now, which is this thing. This is to attach it to a stand, particularly the Takara Masterpiece stand. So that's one last accessory to talk about. So real quick, just a couple comparisons I'm going to do in this mode, or this mode, the robot mode. Just to give you an example, here's the Core Class Megatron, just to give you an idea here. He's a bit short. The Core Class is always kind of weirdly kind of shorter, but yeah, this Core Class Megatron, just to give you an idea on that. And here's Studio Series 86 and Megatron. Yeah, you can see he and Razor Claw, he's slightly taller than Razor Claw, which makes a little bit more sense, just to give you an idea. There you go. He's a bit taller than Razor Claw, so that gives you an idea that that's kind of the size discrepancy. And of course, here's the previous Adamas Machina release of Rodimus. So there is that. So I'm going to get these guys all real quick transformed into their alt modes, and we'll continue this. And there they are in their alt modes together, which again look pretty good. They look pretty good together overall. Again, the size discrepancy is a little minimized here comparatively, but yeah, it's still kind of there. So yeah, that's their alt modes. So all together. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip forward to actually before I want to point out all the accessories, because I didn't say this before. All the accessories by themselves, that's all the weapons and everything that aren't the actual figures themselves, all together total weigh about 7.4 ounces of 210 grams. So yeah, that's just to give you an idea, because there will be a bit of a weight discrepancy between the individual weights and the full combined mode. Which, speaking of the combined mode, it's probably got time to get time to go ahead and get them into their combined mode. So I'm going to start with the leg bots. I'm going to put the rest of them off to the side for now. Let's get those off to the side for now, and we'll start off with just the leg bots initially. So first of all, we'll just start with him. Getting that down here. So with him, what you want to do is, well, of course, get all the accessories off of him. And with these feet, you want to go ahead and collapse the pegs in there. And for him, he is supposed to be the right leg. So making sure about that, that is the left leg or left foot. So yeah. So what you want to do here is take this right here and close those rear legs up like so. And you want to open up this part right here on the bottom, just this part. Not the whole thing, not the whole leg assembly, just this thing right here. You want to open that up. You want to bring these up and close these, tab these in and close those up right there. Same thing, just close that up right there like that. You want to break these and bring them out so you can then open up this port right there. And right here, there's a little tab right here, which this will tab into like so, like that. So you can see it's at an angle now. It's at an angle. You angle it down, and this right here, this little slot right here. Let's go over that tab like that. You want to go ahead and rotate the head around like this, and then bring that forward like that, and then split the legs right here like that. And this right here, you can see there's a pegs on each side of this. There's little peg holes right here. Just line that up and peg it in there, and do that, and that is ready to go. That is ready to go. So with him, again, take the gun and put it off to the side. Take this gun and also take this off, and we'll deal with that later. And it's very similar to Tantrum. So with Headstrong, you go ahead and close those up on the rear legs right there, like so. Go ahead and open up this part right here. Open this up, bring that down and keep those up right there. Right here, what you want to do is take the head and I want to take this and bring this forward like so. Then take these, what you want to do is bring them up all the way to the robot mode position, like that. And then right here, you want to go ahead and fold this up like so. And right here, you see there's a slot right there. There's a tab here, and you angle this down, and this will tab in like that. It's going to look like that. And same thing, you bring this up like this. Bring it up, and you slide it all the way up like that, and you rotate it down and you tab it over like that. You open up this panel and you split the legs down here, and again you bring in the other foot and just peg it in, sandwich between, and close up the then peg it and tab it all back together like that. And that is the other leg. See, there's now both legs ready to go. So put those off to the side for now. And go, well, because we're just building up, we'll go ahead and do Razor Claw next, which again, take the accessories off. Take these accessories off, put those off to the side. We'll come back to those later. Same with these, and go ahead and right now, we'll just take the swords out of the hands. You can leave them in the hands technically, because, well, yeah. But we'll just take them out for now, and just put those off to the side as well. And put that off to the side, and just put that all off to the side for now. And right here again, split the legs, and remove the tail. Like that, and you'll put that off to the side as well. So right here with him, what you want to do is straighten out the rear legs, like that, and like that, and then take the feet here and just rotate them back like this, so they're looking like that. And then what you want to do here is go ahead and split the lion right here, right in half like that. Just bring this part down, kind of bring that up right here, and just kind of have it split down like that, and just kind of have it sitting like this. So from here, what you want to do is go ahead and take this little like silvery, like bluish piece, and bring that up like this, and then kind of bring the lion legs. Let's see, bring like that, and then what you want to do from here is take these and rotate these around and bring these up as well. Just kind of get these out of the way for now. Rotate these around and bring these up like that. Just get them out of the way. So what you want to do here is then bring this hinge, you want to bring this up like this. And this silver piece will now tab into this part right here, like that. right here, you want to then make sure this hinges up a little bit higher. And you want to take these side pieces right here and you want to push them inward. Like that. And then you can see this, push this inward. It's kind of, you can see it's on a double hinge thing. I'm sure you can see that, but it's on a double hinge. You just kind of push it inward like that. Make sure this doesn't come undone in the process, because if it does, it's going to be annoying. Like that. Right here, you can see this hinge. You bring these down. This will that tab will settle between, like that. Yeah. See, that's the other thing, because a lot of people forget. Well, if you go back, a lot of people go, "How do I get these parts back?" You have to make sure these tabs are all the way, because they're not. This thing will start to will not split properly. And then here, you want to go ahead and straighten these out like that, and also rotate the hands like this. And then there's these holes right here. So this is a little easier to do right here. What you want to do is take these bits right here. You want to take this barrel off and put it over here. Again, you can see there's the kind of the indentations in the barrel, so you want to make sure to goes in properly like that. See the indentations? You can see that those indentations lining up. That what you want to do is then just push these, peg this in right here like so. And same thing with the other one. Unplug it from here, plug it up here like that, and again plug it in like so, like that. And then once you've done that, you go ahead and bring this up and rotate it, and you can see there's this tab here which will go in that slot right there, like that. It holds together like so. And then same thing up here. Just and this tab will kind of go into there. It doesn't really hold in. It's just kind of a thing to make sure it doesn't shift around too much. You do that like so. Right here, you go ahead and make sure this is out of the way and bring this back right here like that. And that allows you to bring out the Predaking head, rotate that around, and then close this back up. That. And with that, you have, well, you have razor claw ready to go. Now from here, I'm going to go to rampage here. Again, take the gun off, put it off to the side, and take this gun and slide that off for now. Here, go ahead and take these bits right here and fold those in a way like that. Like that. And then go ahead with this, you fold this down so you can take this tab and line up with the little slot up here. Like that, and then rotate this up, and that will go up there like so, like that. And again, it's the little, there's a hole there that goes over the little nub there. Again, bring this up and tab that in, and then rotate this up like so. So it sits like that. You go ahead and untab this piece, and you go ahead and then bring this up right here, like this, and then tab this back in like that. And take these arm pieces and bring them up, and the legs up and bring them up like that. And yeah, straighten those out and bring this up and collapse them into there like so. You want to raise these up a bit and then kind of angle them in. So you want to raise it up on this hinge, this double hinge. You want to raise it up on the hinge and then bring it in like that. So it's going to be sitting more or less like that. And then you go ahead and bring this part down. And right here, then you split the legs, and this is going to be the right arm. So you take the right hand, there's these little notches right here, you just feed this between the notches right here and then close the legs back up like this. And then you go ahead and rotate this right here like that. And that's the arm ready to go. Right arm. And with him, we go ahead and remove this gun as well. Take the wings here. You want to bring them out and then bring this out right here. Bring this out right here and then slide the wings off And we'll put that off to the side for now. And right here, again, you want to go ahead and extend this, you know, bring this out like this. Pretty sure this actually is supposed to be, yeah, like that. That's right. Almost forgot. Yeah, you wanted it to look like that. I was wondering, I was like, something's wrong. I forgot to extend the legs fully. So you do that, and then go ahead and open this up, and like the other hand, put it in and close this up right here, like so. You can put that in backwards, but no matter. Rotate that like that, and then right here, what you want to do is you want to take this chest piece, the gold part, you want to bring that up and use this double hinge and bring it down right here like this, and take the bird head and bring it forward like that. Just kind of bring it forward and down like that. And that is dive bomb pretty much ready to go, which means we are now can do the whole thing. So bring this up a bit. Getting the legs in place. So with that, what you want to do, taking razor claw, on the back here, well, you just see these little, these like rails right here inside of each of them. There's little notches right here. Those notches go over the rails. Make sure to line them up. Just slide the leg in like this, and then close this up over top like that, and then close this up and tab that back in, and that's pretty much held in place. And you do the same thing with the other leg. It's just, again, line up the notches and rails, slide the leg in like that, then close this up over top, and then close this up behind. Make sure it all tabs in, and that's ready to go. And this is pretty much, you know, you can see this right here. This just goes over top of this thing. It'll lock into place like that. Same thing, lock into place like that. And then as for the wings, what you do here is make sure to take these and just bring that down. And this right here, there's these big tabs right here to go in these big old slots right here. And this kind of, there's a spring loaded thing right there. And this just kind of angle the wings back one notch just to get them out of the way of the arms and just push it on. A nice little click. And then the wings, what you want to do is take them and just spread them out like this. Just pull down and they'll all spread like that. Same thing like that. And with that, you now have Adamas Machina Predaking. And yeah, this is quite frankly a great looking Predaking. So the idea here was this was heavily inspired by how he was drawn in the particularly very specific sequence in the episode G1 episode Call of the Primitives. A lot of people probably remember it because it's one of those weird things where it's like Predaking looks really good all of a sudden. Oh yeah, by the way, but one thing finally also open that mouth. It's optional, but you know, it does complete the look. So open that mouth and there you go. Yeah, he looked weirdly kind of good in that one sequence, and they based this figure off of that, plus some, you know, some liberties taken here and there. Some, I think, some Studio Aux, plus, you know, the Trigger. I can't remember who it was now. The Trigger guy who came in and some stuff. But yeah, this is Predaking, and he looks glorious. I mean, yeah, this is kind of one of those weird things where it's like, yeah, it's kind of like technically optional accessories, these guns, but they're kind of part of the look. So I'm leaving them on as is. Yeah, he looks fantastic, honestly. Again, this is one of those things that's like, this is like the single most painted Transformer ever, official Transformer ever. And it shows. I mean, all that detail I kind of talked about when the individual figures really shows up here. All this gorgeous paint and little like molded detailing, everything just really comes together in such a really fantastic way. He just looks amazing. And he looks so proportionate too now. All those compromises for the individual figures, absolutely worth it for this combined mode, because this looks amazing. I don't know how much I can gush over this guy, but I gush over it a lot, actually. It's just amazing looking, honestly. So yeah. He's just, well, it's the only thing is mine has a little like blemish right here. I think it's blemish. It might be a blemish or it might be gunk. I'm not sure. Something weird right there, but that's the only real flaw in mine. Seems to be actually, it might be some residue or something. Not sure what that is. It might be excess paint. Huh. That's the only real problem with mine. Everything else works great. I think someone like accidentally broke the horn, so yeah, these do feel like a little fragile. So be careful when you're like pulling this out. You know, when you're pulling the head out of the cavity, be careful. These do feel a little fragile, so be careful of those. But other than that, yeah, I haven't had any real issues with this guy ever whatsoever. I've converted him back and forth because he's actually really fun to put together and, you know, combine and uncombine, because he's really simple to combine too, and he holds together really solidly. That's the big thing. Is like those big old open cavities in these guys. Yeah, no waste articulation, but it means that it's a dead solid connection for the combine mode and whatnot. And yeah, these are dead solid. Everything is like dead solid, and he feels good to play with and pose. And speaking of posing, oh my god. Head, you got this ball joint right here, you got left and right, you got up and down. The platform it's on can move around the neck. There's another joint in the lower, at the base and top of the neck, so he can do all sorts of poses there. You can, you know, you can see that. Lots of stuff there. Arms can do, you know, the full 360. You kind of got to get the wings out of the way, but you can do, you know, full 360 on both arms. You do have a ratchet right here, goes pretty far, like that far before you start banging into things. Here you do have a bicep swivel as well. You also have, thanks to various things, you have a butterfly joint. Thanks to how it transforms, you have a butterfly joint, and yeah, you can really get that out there if you really want to. Thanks to all those hinges right there, you can do a lot with this joint. You can get to the absurd degree of bend there, which is amazing. And then again, you have the bicep joint. You have basically a double jointed or something like that. It's kind of sort of double jointed, not really, but maybe. It actually can be double jointed, but yeah, you have that much curl on the elbow. It's going to be mindful in certain poses. It's going to look weird if you're not careful about it. Down here at the hands, you do have a swivel right there. There's a hinge right here as well. The thumb is on a hinge at the base, and there's also a hinge right there, mid belt knuckle. The individual fingers, they all are like this, which is, getting zoomed in real quick. They all can, you know, have a hinge at the base and another hinge and a third hinge. So they all have 3 hinges, plus there's a ball joint at the end, so they can all spread as well. I have never seen splay on an official Transformer, I don't think. I can't remember anyway, but yeah, as far as I can remember, there's never ever been splay on an official Transformer, so hooray for that. That's pretty awesome. The wings here, you can see I moved them earlier, but yeah, the wings can of course still do the same thing they did before, you know, move ratchet back and forth. You can adjust them slightly. Just know that, you know, you're going to have to keep them at least somewhat back, because otherwise the arms, you know, kind of banging in the arms a lot. These guns right here, you can see they can move like this. They can move up and down on these hinges. There's rotation as well. Almost forgot about all that because it's standard like articulation points, because yeah, do you have shoulder guns that can move? I didn't think so. Yeah, so that's stuff, you can move that and it looks, you know, make them look pretty cool. Angled, however you want to do that. Down here at the waist, getting this out of the way. Down at the waist, you do have, of course, a waist joint. No ratchets there, but it still moves real nice. And of course, there's an ab crunch. There's actually kind of, this is really cool. So there's an ab crunch right there. So you saw that, and you can click this a little bit and you go even further forward. And then right here, I'm sure you can see that. Right there, of course, you can move it even further forward on that right there. So you can pretty much do a full 90, and it actually has a bit of a curvature to it, which looks, well, again, it's fantastic for posing as well. And this can also go backwards, so you can kind of do some interesting poses. The only thing is you got to be mindful, because if you do it accidentally, aren't careful, you have this whole thing where like this silver bit just doesn't quite go back in place properly, and oh crap. You have to be mindful of all that and make sure everything realigns. So just be mindful if you use that for posing. Put that back in where it was, but yeah. Down here at the hips, of course, the hip skirts right here that can get out of the way, this can get out of the way, and can still also rotate, you know, so that can get out of the way, and this one can get out of the way. So you got, again, ratchets forward like that, ratchets backwards, outward. There is no ratchet outward, but you do get, you know, the full splits. There's a dedicated thigh swivel right there. The knees are technically double jointed, and you kind of have to futz with it a little bit, particularly with this one because of the sculpting, but you do have quite a bit, and thanks to the platforms the heads are on, you can adjust those as well. So you can get, you know, pretty decent knee bend as well. So that's right there. And then down here at the feet, you do have ratcheted ankle tilts like that. And right here, you can see, you saw that a little bit, probably this bit right here. There's a bunch of hinges right there, so you can bring the toe down, you can bring the toe forward, up and forward, and You can do a lot right there. And then on top of that, these can hinge down. The gun bits can hinge down individually too, right there. And this heel bit can also hinge. So yeah, you've got posability out the butt with this guy. He's got a lot of posability. Probably one of the most, again, one of the most posable official Transformers I have ever seen. And, you know, we've had some pretty amazing posable guys in the past, but yeah, this guy just takes it kind of to a new level. And he holds together fantastically with Combiner. Like, I did all that. The only thing I had to worry about was all in this guy. That's not a connection point. Like, these guys didn't come apart. These guys didn't come apart. This is the only thing. That's because I pushed this ab crunch really far. So that's the only thing that really came apart at all was the ab crunch I pushed too far. So yeah, very posable, very solid, works really well. He is a dead solid. He is not coming apart unless you want him to. And that's amazing in his own right. So as for accessories, first of all, I want to point out pretty much like every single gun, like individual guy's gun, there's plenty of places that in manual imports, you know, basically there's these 4 slots right here. There's 2 slots in the back hip skirts, and there's slots on the sides of the legs as well, both inside, outside, but you can probably use mostly inside or outside, I should say. I like to kind of, you know, have this kind of like right there, and then like here's Rampage's gun, just plug that in right there, and I believe this is this is Dive Bomb's gun, so that goes in right there. And then these guys you can do, you know, kind of poke, you know, if you want, you put them right there. I like to actually put them on the legs, just kind of, you know, right there like that. And same with actually I think that goes back, yeah, that's backwards. Yeah, I put these guys right here, you know, just have them right there like that. And yeah, pretty much that's all the individual guns stored away, which is nice. You can't put this one, I think you can put this big rifle kind of like the other way around, but it's kind of doesn't plug in as well. Yeah, you can, but it's not as secure, so just be aware of that. So you got that. Yeah, you have, of course, these 2 bits, which you can plug them together. There is kind of a keying of sorts, and you plug them together, and yeah, he's got his big old cannon thing. What you do with this is you can basically pick an arm. I'm going to pick the, I'm going to say the, yeah, I'm going to do with the, what you do is you take this part right, unplug that, and then, let's see, you plug this into the side right here, and then this right here, there's a peg hole right there. It's on either arm, so it's, you know, either one. And you plug this in right here, and you just wrap it around like that, and there you go. It is now plugged in, and it looks great. You can do that, of course, on this arm. But the problem is, of course, then the screw holes are facing upwards. But you know, you can also do it on this arm. Just show it off real quick. You know, just wrap it around. There you go. And it's, yep, it plugs in on either arm happily and stays in place like that. And of course, the swords. You can see those again. I believe the other thing is one of these, I think this sword is the one that appeared in the animation, and this sword is the one that appeared in the Studio Aux artwork. I think that's the correct, it might be the other way around. I don't remember for sure, but I believe that's the case. Regardless, with these swords, which both look cool, unfortunately look both like they're kind of the molded details, like designed with the idea that they'll be held in the right hand, which is annoying. You can, of course, you got the tabs here on the handles, which go into little slots on the hands, which hold them in pretty secure, actually. Hold them in, and then of course you can wrap the fingers around. You have to be mindful of the hilts and everything. Yep. Now he's holding a sword. Looks great. And of course, for the other sword, each of them have, you can see there's a tab right here on this one, and this one also has basically tabs on each end of the hilt, and that you can just, you know, plug in anywhere, including back here. I like to plug it back here. You can plug it back there if you want, or of course you can plug it into the skirts. But again, that's you can, but that's kind of difficult because now you're banging into things. But yeah, so I just like to plug it in back here, like that, and that just kind of sits there like that. And there you go. So there's that. All those accessories, which look great, and of course the final accessory, which is this thing again. What you do is you just put it over top like this, and it clips on. You'll hear an audible click. And that lets you, gonna get this out of the way, attach it to one of these guys. Let's bring it up a little bit higher. Yeah. And of course, yep, this just plugs in. Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring it up even higher. Let's bring it up all the way, as far as it can go. Yeah, that just plugs in right there. Like that. It's supposed to. Supposed to, anyway. There we go. It's just being stubborn. The only thing is, yeah, stand is actually kind of short, unfortunately. You can see that. So yeah, it's one of those weird things. It's like, it's neat, but also what someone screwed up somewhere. Because like, it's ideally, I guess, you're gonna have to do a kind of fun times with posing it. But yeah, let me just get this off there. Yeah, get this out of the way. And of course, yeah, you can just leave that on there if you just want to, you know, just not want to deal with storing it or anything. You know, don't want to throw in a, you know, you just want it out of the way. Just leave it on the back, you know. Just on this. And yeah, pulling it off can be a little. You have to like start from. You have to start from the bottom and unhook it. So there's that. Just gonna put this back right in here. So yeah, again. That's the only real complaint is this thing, well, it's not the problem with the figure per se, it's just the fact that the stands themselves can't seem to get quite tall enough to really, yeah, work with this guy very well, at least not mine. Not this one. I'd have to do some finagling or something. I'm not sure what. Regardless, Predaking here is, you know, he's got a decent amount of accessories, and again, pretty much all of them. The nice thing is also that all the accessories can be stored away or held or whatever by him at all times. You can put every single accessory of his on there, and there's no like, oh, there's parts just floating around over here in a box or in a drawer or something. They can all attach and stay attached, and they attach pretty securely, and it's very nice. As for some measurement stuff, his height is 10 1/4 inches or 26 centimeters, and his weight is 31.3 ounces or 886 grams. He is pretty hefty. Again, there's a lot of die cast in here too. I believe there's die cast here. There's some die cast up in here somewhere, I think. There's some die cast definitely down here in the legs. There's some die cast on these guys, I think, somewhere. There's definitely die cast. I think there's some die cast right here on the, yeah, on the feet. There's die cast. Good amount. So yeah, then soon comes comparisons now. Hopefully this goes well. First of all, just because this is how we've been doing, I've done every single one of the individuals, and he's not going to fit in frame, but here's the Power of the Primes. Predaking. About twice his height, honestly, from head to head. Yeah, he comes up right up to, just barely up to his hip. Yeah, quite a bit taller. And also notice, yeah, the weird thing is, yeah, the mirrored stuff, because yeah, here's, yeah, Headstrong's on the right, and here Headstrong's on the left, and vice, you know, same with the arms, everything's swapped around, because it seems like that's a weird thing, again, about Predaking, which is, yeah, they can't seem to ever agree about what his official configuration is ever, so we get the situations like this. And here he is with the Kang Toys Predaking, which you can see, funny enough, by sheer coincidence, they're roughly the same height head to head. By sheer coincidence, they have roughly the same head to head. They are roughly the same height, which means this guy, by complete accident, because that's the thing, is I can't do the comparison, unfortunately, because I don't have one. He's supposedly the same height at the head as the original G1 Predaking combiner was, which I don't have, so can't do the comparison, unfortunately. Which, yeah, but so by complete accident, this Predaking, when all combined, he is a Legend scale combiner, or at least the generally accepted third-party Legend scale. So there's that. The other thing is he's much more solid than Kang Toys. I love this combiner, don't get me wrong, but this thing holds together much more solidly and doesn't feel like this guy. You can see kind of wobbles a lot compared to this one, a lot more than this one. So yeah, I love the Kang Toys version, but I think I have a new Legend scale Predaking now. So there's that. And just because, you know, some people are going to be kind of curious about it, here he is next to Age of the Prime Superion. Yeah, I remember when this was first announced, I thought this guy was going to be a bit taller. Like, so I was like, and then, oh, he's going to be a little bit shorter. Oh, he's actually a lot shorter. So yeah. That was the thing. That was part of the reason I thought I was going to be getting rid of my Power of the Primes Predaking, but nope, he's staying around, I guess. So there is that. And of course, yeah, just here's the core class Kingdom Megatron. Just, you know, give you an idea there. Which, you know, seems okay for a combiner. Here's the Studio Series Megatron, just to give you an idea there. Yeah, just kind of give you an idea that, yeah, again, he's definitely not, again, not a generation scale in the slightest, at least not combined. And of course, here's the previous Adamas Machina release, Adamas. Again, scale was not, again, as I said multiple times with Adamas, scale was not really the thing here. He just, by happenstance, works well with the legend scale, so just, you know, food for thought. So there's that. Which, of course, brings us to the end of this review. Is he worth it? There's the thing, because I haven't mentioned this at all, but yeah, the problem is the price. He's really, you know, really well painted, highly articulated, really well engineered, and in Japan, the retail price is just short of $300. That's in Japan, mind you. Importing him to the US is going to cost you somewhere in the neighborhood of $400 to $450. If, you know, it's going to cost you $400 to $450, that's a lot of money. That is MP44 territory. Or getting close to it, actually. Or actually past it, technically. But yeah, so yeah, importing him because he's so large, he comes in such a large box and everything, he's going to cost you a lot of money. Again, $400, $450 total for the US, which is a lot, but he's a really good figure. If you're outside the US, it's not going to cost you as much to import, and if you live in Japan, you're really lucky because you can just pick one up, and you don't have to necessarily pay shipping costs or a lot for shipping costs, so it'll be a lot cheaper, but also Japan cost of living, it's weird. But yeah, regardless, the retail price is $300. $300 is I think, honestly, for what you're getting is pretty great. Particularly, you know, the Power of the Primes Predaking was just reissued for $200. $100 more, you get this. Like, well, it's supposed to be, well, it's pretty much double the price realistically for us. But it's a fantastic, I think it's a better, just plain better set than the Power of the Primes, which I like, but this is way better. The Kang Toys is roughly also $300 once it's all said and done. When you put the Kang Toys combiner set, the Legends version, if you can find it for retail. I believe at this point the prices have got shot through the roof, so yeah, it will cost you more to get the Kang Toys version than it would to get this guy. So yeah, I think this is a overall, like, the Kang Toys, that's the thing. The thing about the Kang Toys, far better individual figures. And they're all in scale with each other. Versus this guy's individual figures are kind of, they're fine. That they're compromised, but they're fine, and they're also out of scale with each other. But it's a way better combined mode. And not only does it look better, in my opinion, it is absolutely far more posable. I mean, that Kang Toys doesn't have ab crunch, for example, or all that foot articulation. It's wild how articulated this guy is. So yeah, that's the thing, is he's really expensive, but honestly, I do not regret buying this guy at all. This Predaking is amazing, and I am glad I went for it. And I don't know what the future is for the Adamas Machina line, but I'm really hoping for more just crazy, awesome Transformers from it. Because this is amazing. I really like this guy. I don't know if they're planning on doing it on like Abominus, because I know Abominus looked really wild in that episode called The Primitive as well, but yeah. So that's kind of where we're at. If you are in the market for a good Legend scale Predaking, you have a new option right here. The top of the Kang Toys Plus, there's that, what was it? I can't remember, Great Series or something. It's like just called Great Series, some other third-party guy or something. At least, there's at least one other. I can't remember, there might be another one beyond that. I can't remember for sure, but this is not going to fit with the Generations collection. There's also the whole thing is, like, some people are displaying with like Soul of Chogokin stuff, which, yeah, it kind of fits with that. But yeah, it's very much more of a high-end collectible toy versus a more, this is not for people who primarily collect retail stuff, that's for sure. But he's fantastic, but he's also really spendy. So that's what the big thing is. Basically, if you live in the US, is that $400 to $450 worth it for you? I can't tell you, but he is fantastic, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. But yeah, just be aware of that price that you'll be paying to get this guy. If you live outside the US, it'll be closer to like $350, which is a lot more reasonable. But things are outside of our controls that's causing that. So, He's fantastic, but he's really expensive. And that's where it kind of comes down to, is if the price is worth it for you personally. Because I don't think you'll go wrong. If you want it, you'll like it. But I can't imagine someone who's willing to buy this who's not going to hate it. So yeah, that's it for this review. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my social medias down in the description and at the end of the video. Check out my Ko-fi and my Patreon. And I shall see you next time with another video review.